enums. Enums in nim are like enums in C, but are type checked. So what I understand it as enums in C basically means that we have some kind of name and that corresponds to like a numeric value. There are no anonymous enums in nim. Okay, whatever that means. So let's see. We'll define type, compass directions, and enum. The type is enum, and it looks like we have all the directions defined here. Okay, and then we have another enum specified as pure. Okay, I hope we're gonna get an explanation. Okay, where they have value, here we have a text value, string, attached to red, green, and blue. And additionally here, the green has, I presume that's the index, so 0, 1, 2. Very interesting. Oh, no idea what that means. Other colors are also pure, and we specify it in 0 was, I presume, hexadecimal. So sure, hexadecimal integers. And then we've got signals, and that's not a pure enum, just an enum. And we have signal quit is 3, abort is 6, and kill is 9. Okay, that makes sense. It'll be interesting to also notice that both colors and other colors, they have same, I mean, this one has red, both have red, and other labels are different. Okay, so echo red, error, ambiguous identifier, red. Ah, look at that. When we'll try to print out the color red, yeah, ambiguous identifier, red. Really, but we just said color, red. We'll need to check that. Other colors, red. Apparently it doesn't mind it. Oh, wow, I'm so dumb. They just commented it out here. Okay, echo red will be confused because it doesn't know if we're calling from colors or from other colors. But what is important to know that it would try to figure out which we're using. So when you type in red, it doesn't look just for a type named red. It's smart enough to look for it inside the enums, which is nice. Here we can specify it specifically. Hey, use colors. We'll do it. Other colors. Red. Yep. And then we echo the orange. Space and just orange. And it will be smart enough like, hey, we have orange only here. So it should work. So there we go. So looks like for the first one here calls red, if we specify the string for it and we echo it, it will actually echo that specific value instead of it. So instead of saying red, it just shows string. Here when we say red, it completely ignores the value. It just prints, hey, the label. And same here. Notice that each element in compass directions is prepended with CD to avoid name conflicts, since references to enum value do not need to be qualified. Okay. The pure pragma that colors and other colors have requires that all ambiguous references to the enum's values be qualified. This means that orange can be referred to without other colors than orange, although all other colors than orange is still allowed. Okay, so without that, compiler would assume which red? That is a little bit confusing here. And enums can be given custom values and string file values as shown by colors and signals. Yeah, in colors we gave it this, and in signals we gave them values here. It still doesn't explain what is this thing, because then we just go to ordinals. That's not a great tutorial for enums, I'd say. Let's copy that code and play with it a little bit, so that maybe we can understand what's going on here. So when we save it, so what happens if we remove that pure? Save it still doesn't mind it. Remove another pure and save it. It's fine. Well, what happens if we do echo red? Type mismatch. Okay. So it doesn't mind that, even though it's not pure. But here it says type mismatch. And if I'll say that they're both pure, it'll say ambiguous identifier. The only difference seems to be that type mismatch. Expected one of the first mismatch of position. So normally it just shows really confusing message. Same thing if we'll try to do that, it will be just type mismatch. The red is colors or other colors. So still not sure about the whole pure. Shouldn't it be by default? So I did some research and turns out that the pure clause isn't necessary anymore. Basically, prior to version 2.0 and 1.6 of the nim language, something like this would be impossible. when we're declaring enum colors that has red defined and some other enum that also has red defined, even though we're trying to echo with a qualifier that says, hey, this is the colors enum, this is the other colors enum, this wouldn't work. That's why in older NIM code, you would see those enum, let's say for color, that it will be CL, CL, and CL. While for other colors, you would have something like OC, OC, and OC, you know, those prefixes, so that you could actually go and say, hey, this is CL red, and this is the OC red, okay? So when back then the pure clause was introduced, it was so that you wouldn't need to use those prefixes and you could just use the name of the enum as a qualifier. But now it's basically a default for NIM 2.0. So it's something we don't have to worry about anymore. We can just straight up do this and have our colors.red and our other colors.red. And, you know, compiler will figure it out for us. So that's a little update on the pure clause.